The interior design program here at Kirkwood is ranked second in the state of Iowa, and so with that ranking comes a need to kind of improve our spaces for our students and to also give them the best facilities that we can. So this is my office space, and unlike a lot of offices where you just have the faculty coming in, I really wanted to be able to collaborate with my students and interact with my students a whole lot more. And so I thought, well, let me open up my space for them, because in our classroom we have such an open collaborative space where everyone's always talking and working with each other. But if they feel like they have a place where they can come and maybe discuss their portfolios, or if we can have our student organization meetings in a place that has a little bit more privacy, then that would be really great and really beneficial for students for different purposes. So when I designed my office area, of course I've got my things that I need over here, and everything is pretty much for me over here. This side of my office is much more lounge-based. I've got some different levels of seating in here, different ergonomic qualities with the different chairs, so that anybody, different body sizes or anything, can be very comfortable in this space using this. And I also allow my students to check out all of my books that I have, because we don't have time to go down to a library and to check out books a lot of times. So I have my books available for all my students to use, and they can kind of come in here, and this space is just as much theirs as it is mine. So this is our resource room, and something that is really awesome about this space is that it's professional grade. And one of the things that I found when I was teaching at other universities was that a lot of times the students would just get discarded samples or discontinued fabrics or anything like that. And what I wanted to do was really provide access to current manufacturers, current samples to my students, so that they have that same level of professionalism that they're expected to be familiar with once they graduate. So for example, if a student said, hey, I want to use a seat from IOA, they can come in here, look at their healthcare products that they've got, and really contact the manufacturer, say, hey, you know, whoever the sales rep is, I'm looking at this for a project. What's the price? What's the lead time on that? And then they're getting that real world experience that they are expected to have once they would graduate. Another fun part about having a professional grade resource room is that we have actual interior designers and independent architects that come in and use this space as well. So a student might be coming out here to work on a project, and there may be a designer in here, and then they get that ability to interact with one another. So we're providing an opportunity for our community and our students to come together in this space, and that's really kind of fun. Another thing that we do, aside from just being a workroom and a resource room, is I also try and create a sense of stress relief for my students, because they are so they work a whole lot, and they're here on campus probably more than any other majors. So what we do is we've got our little ping pong things here. We've got a little mini foosball things that we can set up. They can kind of just relieve some stress, and it's kind of nice because when we've got introverted students, they're able to come out here, and when they would normally just sit to themselves and kind of talk to one another quietly, they can come out here and they start playing ping pong, and it's just, they open up so much more. So we get collaborative in very unique and different ways, and it's kind of nice for our students to be able to experience that, you know, other than just sitting in a desk all day long. So this is our space that had the major remodel in it. Previously, we had very, very large drafting tables, and that worked, you know, 10 years ago or so. But our design needs have changed, and the tasks that we do have completely changed and evolved, and we're much more technology-based. And so we've got laptops that we work on all the time, cords everywhere, and the large drafting tables really prevented my students from being able to collaborate with one another. This might just look like standard desking in here, but it's really uniquely designed and selected because this is a benching system here. So whereas before we had really large desks that prevented students from getting together, now we've got these desks without legs underneath them that provide students the ability to kind of pull up chairs next to each other and work very closely, and nothing's preventing them from sliding up and working with each other. Another really awesome thing about our design in here is that I wanted to be able to give my students a sense of control and a sense of empowerment for their own spaces. So they each have a task light that they can control themselves, and that just engages them a little bit more with the space and makes them feel like they belong more. We also have these sliding caddies here, and students can drop their keys in here, their phones, their backpacks or bags or projects under here, and then just slide them under and get them out of sight, out of mind, and then they can just set their laptops here and work. Another thing that is really cool is that we've got all of this stuff is completely powered. So when the students are ready to plug in their laptops, they no longer need to crawl underneath the tables, and we have cords running everywhere, which I'm sure was a fire hazard. But now they can just plug in their technology with ease. They can be charging their phones, they can be having their laptops right up here, and it's very, very convenient as far as technology goes. These plastic panels were also a custom design that we did, and those are 3-form. It's a plastic resin. So we wanted to make it feel modern and to give the students a sense of privacy without being completely closed off. So we thought that this translucent panel was kind of a good solution for that, which really allows students to still see one another, but it gives them that sense of privacy that sometimes designers want when they're working on top secret things that they don't want their friends to steal an idea for yet. So that's kind of fun. Another nice aspect of our space is that we also control our own heat and air. And that might not seem like a big deal, but when you've got students that are freezing or students that are too hot, it's nice to, again, give them that sense of control over their own space. And it really helps to put that in perspective about how important that is, especially for designers. So we control our own heat and air in here. These tables are also unique to this space for a couple of reasons. We in interior design really look at all different things. So we're not just making spaces look nice, we're trying to improve the overall health, safety, and quality of life for all people through better design. So what we did in here was like I said earlier, I researched ergonomics and how my students were working, and I noticed some were standing a lot. And so we have these adjustable height desks, which if our students decide that, hey, I'd like to stand up and work today, they can just come up here and adjust the desk and they can get their projects done. Also, if we've got somebody in a wheelchair and they need to have the desks lowered a little bit more than the other desks are, then these desks lower, and then they can just slide their wheelchair in and then adjust the height of the desk to fit their exact need. So it's really, really customized to each individual person that would sit here, and I'm really excited to be able to provide that to my students. Other factors of this space that you'll see are we've got chairs with arms and without arms. Again, this is an ergonomic design decision because we, again, have students with all different types of body sizes and shapes. So we wanted to make sure that for individuals that are a little bit larger, where this might be uncomfortable for them, we provided them with seating that would be comfortable for them as well. Other aspects to our space is that we try and make it feel very studio-like. So we have almost our own little kitchenette set up here where students can come, bring their lunch. We've got our own microwave. I've got water with lemons usually and some water access there through our sink. And then our little refrigerator over here so that students can bring their lunch and then they can feel like they can stay in the space through lunchtime. They don't need to go anywhere to get lunch. And then they can just kind of, feel at home, like they're comfortable here. And speaking of that, I've also brought in some, this is very cliche, but some pillows and blankets so that my students can, again, feel comfortable. And like I said, I will come in here, and my students are sometimes in this building until, they literally get escorted out by security. So they spend a long time here, and sometimes they get really exhausted from all the work I have them do. So I brought in pillows and blankets so that they can just, if they want to take a nap, they can go out and they can take a nap on the couch and they can be comfortable, and then they can get recharged, come back in the space and nail their design projects. Over here, these are cabinets, and each student gets their own shelf in the cabinets. So again, it really says, hey, you know, you can just come in, fill up your cabinet space, utilize this for your backpacks or large boards or materials, and feel like they're safe and secure in here, and then they can be closed off, and I don't need to see the mess from them. This is a quote that I say a lot in our class. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. And so I just wanted to make sure that that definitely made it into this space, because that's something my students think about a lot. And then we also have our new large format scanner. And this has really come in handy a lot. My students have utilized this already just for scanning larger prints, and we just have access to incredible technology. We've got such great tech support here at Kirkwood. It's really fabulous. They know us all very well here. So our students really have access to a lot of really new technology. And then speaking to that, we also got all new laptops for our students. If you come in here, you'll probably see students utilizing 3 or 4 laptops at a time, rendering all of their different design boards and imagery. So we've got really, really powerful laptops that IT and everybody have really helped us out on a lot. So we're really thankful for those, and our students will be really excited to see those as well.
The old classroom just didn't function well for us. We had to reach under our tables and bump our heads constantly to plug things in. The tables that you had to lift were really heavy, and now that they're automatic, it's really easy for us. It's also nice to have the option to stand at our desk instead of sitting all the time.
It's brighter in there. They changed the paint colors a little bit. We have more storage, which is awesome. I can't wait to be able to fill up some of those cabinets with some stuff of mine.
I think that the new room is great. I think it's going to create a really good learning environment for us to finally have a space that functions really well for what we need to get done.
Just to have a workspace that is more like an office type, something like we'll be doing when we're graduating versus your typical classroom, is just really exciting.
And thank you for everyone who's helped make this room really great.